What's up, everybody? Justin here, back with another WCW 2000 fantasy booking show. This is part 2. Let's get into it. Here we go with part 2. Part 2 starts off with a February, in like the beginning of February 2000 episode of WCW Nitro. So here we go. This is the first week of February Nitro. We got Booker T, a 6-man tag, I believe. Yeah, it is a 6-man tag. Booker T, Billy Kidman, Chris Benoit take on the team of Jeff Jarrett, Hugh Morris, and Fit Finley. Booker T, Billy Kidman, Chris Benoit win the opening match, 6-man tag of Nitro. Up next, we have Rey Mysterio take on AJ Styles. They are in the finals of the WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament at Uncensored. So, hyping up their Uncensored tag match for the Cruiserweight Tag Championship. AJ Styles take on Rey Mysterio one-on-one. That's a dream match. Should have happened in 2000 or 2001. But it is happening because I would have booked it. And I did book it. So, AJ Styles in his corner has Lash LaRue. Rey Mysterio in his corner has La Parka. Because Lash LaRue, AJ are in the finals against Rey Mysterio and La Parka. So, all 4 guys start going at it, and this ends in a disqualification. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. So, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles end in a disqualification because Lash LaRue, La Parka, and all 4 guys started going at it. So, no winner. Now we have the WCW Tag Team titles on the line. Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero Jr. are the tag champs defending against the Harris brothers. Eddie, Chavo win to retain the tag titles. Main event time. Main event is WCW World Champion Sid. Not defending. Non-title. Sid up against Scott Steiner. Because at Super Brawl, we have Sid defending in a 4-way, and Scott Steiner's a part of it. So Sid taking on Scott Steiner in the main event. Sid wins. And then after the match, Sid gets powerbombed. Scott Steiner powerbombs Sid through the stage. And that ends this Nitro. Up next on this fantasy booking, Nitro from the 3rd week of February. So probably the final Nitro of February. This is the final Nitro before the Super Brawl 2000 pay-per-view. So, first we have a promo from Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan comes out, starts cutting a promo. Then out comes Ric Flair. He cuts a promo. And then the commissioner, Kevin Nash. Commissioner shows up, says to Ric Flair and Hogan, I know you guys are in a fatal 4-way at Super Brawl, but I don't care. He says, I care about tonight in Nitro. He says, Nash tells Hogan and Flair tonight, you are teaming up. You are tag team partners tonight and right now. So Nash teams up Hogan and Flair, and they must take on the team of I almost forgot who the team is. I did look at what I wrote. Hogan and Flair teaming up. They do not get along. They don't want to team up, but the commissioner, Kevin Nash, has made them team up. They will team up against Bret Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart and his former partner, Hart Foundation, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Bret Hart and the Anvil team up, take on Flair and Hogan. Bud Hall, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash running, attack all four guys. So there is no winner. Up next, we have a 6-man tag. 3 count. The team of 3 count. But I don't really want to call them 3 count because I didn't like those gimmicks. I thought they were really stupid. I'd just say Shane Helms, Shannon Moore, Evan Courageous. They team up together. They take on the team of AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and Psychosis. AJ, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis win. Now we have, before the main event, we have Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, the commissioner, again, trying to play mind games and screw with Hogan, Flair, and Sid, and screw with Scott Steiner. Kevin Nash teams up Sid and Scott Steiner. Remember, earlier Nitro, Sid got powerbombed through the stage by Scott Steiner. So Sid and Scott Steiner must team up. They are taking on Kevin Nash's mystery team. Couple old timers, couple legends coming. Terry Funk, and yes, Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund and Terry Funk take on Sid and Scott Steiner, and Sid and Scott Steiner win. Now it's main event time. On this third week, final Nitro before Super Brawl 2000 main event time, Vampiro in a triple threat. Vampiro takes on the Great Muta, and in his making his WCW debut, Christopher Daniels, a fallen angel, against Vampiro and the Great Muta. As I said, I want to push Vampiro. He should got a bigger push in the year 2000 in the real WCW. Vampiro wins this triple threat main event on Nitro. Now to WCW Super Brawl 2000. Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero Jr. defend the tag team titles against Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat not getting along so well. Stevie Ray leaves Booker T, leaves him in the match alone. And Primetime Elix Skipper helps Stevie Ray and they attack Booker T. So then they throw him back in the ring. Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero win and retain the WCW tag team titles. Up next we have, again, we got Shannon Moore and Shane Helms teaming up with Prince Iaukea. Prince Iaukea in a 6-man tag taking on the team of Rey Mysterio, Perry Saturn, and AJ Styles. AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Perry Saturn win it. Up next, we have a tag team match on Super Brawl 2000. Buff Bagwell. Never was a fan of the guy. Especially in 2000. I just wasn't a fan of him. I didn't hate him, but I wasn't a fan of the guy, so I'm not going to book him that much in my fantasy booking of WCW 2000. This is part 2. There will be many other parts. Maybe like 4 or 5 or maybe 6 parts. Buff Bagwell teaming up with another guy I really didn't care for at all in 2000. Buff Bagwell teaming up with Lex Luger. They're taking on the team of Diamond Dallas Page and Bam Bam Bigelow. Diamond Dallas Page, Bam Bam Bigelow win because they're better, and I was fans of them. Lex Luger gets pissed off at Buff and basically at the end of the match, attacks Buff and leaves. Up next, the WCW Cruiserweight Championship is on the line. Chris Candido defends against La Parka. Now, I'm going to book La Parka a lot because I was a fan of that guy, and I think he was underrated and underutilized. So Chris Candido defends against La Parka. Chris Candido wins. Is still Cruiserweight Champion. Now we have kind of a dream match. Sting take on, I know they worked before in 92, but this is the year 2000. Sting take on the Great Muta. Sting wins. But after Sting wins, Vampiro does a run-in and throws a fireball. Throws a fireball in the face of Sting, burns Sting. And Sting selling, holding his face, and is taken aback. So now the WCW United States Championships on the line. Chris Benoit, the Crippler, defends against Jeff Jarrett in a last man standing match. Chris Benoit wins, retains the U.S. title. So far I've had 3 title matches and no title changes. I'm an old school type booker. I don't like doing many title changes if I ran a company. So, as I said, Chris Benoit wins the last man standing match against Jeff Jarrett. Chris Benoit still U.S. champ. Main event time. Sid defends the WCW World title against Hulk Hogan, against Scott Steiner, against Ric Flair. So, Sid wins. Sid is still Sid does win. Sid is still the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Now we go to, I didn't book any Nitros. I don't believe I booked any Nitros before Uncensored. Maybe I did. I don't really remember. Maybe that's in part 1. But here we go with WCW Uncensored 2000. And then after I do Uncensored 2000, this will end part 2. Kevin Nash is the commissioner. Alright, at Uncensored, he's still the commissioner. Kevin Nash teams up Sting and Vampiro. He teams them up to take on the WCW Tag Team Champions, Eddie Guerrero and Chavo. And Sting and Vampiro win. They don't get along, and Sting was burned by Vampiro at Super Brawl. But Sting is back. It's like 3-4 weeks later. Sting and Vampiro somehow work together and become WCW Tag Team Champions. So now up next we have a triple threat for the U.S. title 3-way dance Falls Count Anywhere match. For the U.S. title, Chris Benoit defends against Norman Smiley and Jeff Jarrett. Chris Benoit wins, still U.S. champ. Now we go to a grudge match. Stevie Ray taking on his brother Booker T. It's a Harlem street fight. And Booker T wins. No, Stevie Ray wins with help from Elix Skipper again. So their feud will continue. Shane Douglas appears. He was part of WCW in 2000, and I'm a fan of Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas making his, WCW pay-per-view debut in 2000. Shane Douglas takes on Dustin Rhodes. Shane Douglas wins. Now before the main event, This is the finals of the Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament. It is a ladder match for the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles. Rey Mysterio and La Parka taking on AJ Styles and Lash LaRue. In the finals, to crown a new Cruiserweight champion, it's a ladder match. AJ Styles, Lash LaRue win, are the new WCW first ever Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions. Now the main event, where it is another fatal four-way. It's basically, I messed up. Super Brawl 2000's main event was Sid and Hulk Hogan teaming up. It was non-title against Scott Steiner, Ric Flair. Sid and Hogan won. So Uncensored is the fatal four-way for the world title. Sid defending against Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and Scott Steiner. Sid wins, retains the world title. On part 3, I believe, fantasy booking of WCW 2000 part 3, I believe will start with, let me look here. Part 3 will start off with me booking WCW Slamboree 2000 pay-per-view. I'm not going to book Spring Stampede because I'm not going to book every single pay-per-view. That'd make this fantasy booking WCW 2000 shows make it too long of a series. So part 3 will start with Slamboree 2000, where I have the entire pay-per-view booked so far, and one Nitro after Slamboree I also have booked. And then, what is this? That is not part of fantasy booking. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this part 2 of fantasy booking WCW 2000. Sid is still the world champ. Chris Benoit still the U.S. champ. We got new tag team champions in Sting and Vampiro. Chris Candido still cruiserweight champ. And AJ Styles, Lash LaRue, new cruiserweight tag team champions. Will I debut a hardcore title? Maybe. I don't know. Hope you enjoyed this part 2 fantasy booking WCW 2000. Have a great Sunday night and have a great week. Bye for now, everybody.